What up, everybody? I'm your host, JP, and this is my co host, Josh.
Hey everybody.
And welcome back to another episode of the FilmBros podcast. All right, Josh. So today we got to review a TV show, nonetheless. A TV show that you recommended for us to do. And though I was enthusiastically on your side when you first brought this idea up to me, and I was like, hell yeah, especially after, a little bit of the hell we're kind of being put through with some of these, you know, Dwayne Johnson movies. That's going to be a future episode pretty soon coming up. But Josh, you told me, hey, you have to watch this. Have you watched this?
Yeah.
You have to watch this. Why do I want to sock you so bad?
Oh my goodness.
like it doesn't happen often, but like, just wanna strangle you just a little bit in a brotherly way. You know what I'm saying?
Man. Okay.
And it's okay. It's okay. It shit happens. But Josh, let them know what we're gonna be discussing today, so they can understand why I probably want to give you a big old karate chop to the throat. Go ahead.
We are reviewing X-Men 97 Season 2.
It's hard to believe what's not waiting for me. Someone I lost. Someone special.
The X-Men are scattered through time. In the past, from the start of Apocalypse's reign, to the future at the height of his rule.
The X-Men. I must strike them at their most vulnerable. The 1990s.
Jeez, could have at least bought me a drink first.
Yes, X-Men 97 Season 2. So if you guys want to hear our review for Season 1, we do have a review out there. And, not giving everything away, but I quite enjoyed Season 1. Season 1 for me wasn't too big of a deal. Actually, it was a big deal. It was the return of my old characters. Now, did I have some gripes? Yes. I've always said I don't like that whole, older person coming back to play that same person because it just doesn't seem right. Obviously, the voices are a big reason for that. Obviously,
Right.
The voice changes as you get older and all that stuff. But I believe that was like the biggest gripe. The story was strong. There was some behind the scenes drama with, the creator, which we're going to talk about that probably a little bit down the road. But for the most part, it was good. The animation was nice. It was crisp.
Yeah.
I kind of felt spoiled with the animation that we kind of got with that first season. And so, for me, it was kind of like, oh, how are they going to top this? And the fact that this season 2 did not have that much promotion, it made me think, hey, man, I don't think they're trying to top it. And I don't think they're trying to make a big explosion as though they're trying to top it. But Josh, what do you think about Season 1 of X-Men 97 when, just a quick brief rundown. Like I said, we do have that Season 1 whole review out right now. We actually have a two-parter, right? So there should be that. This one is actually a one-parter because we were able to eat it up all at one time. But Josh, what do you think about Season 2 coming up? What do you think about Season 1? Were you excited? Were you a fan?
Obviously, I was fucking looking forward to it, man. I was like, you know what, this is gonna be good. Yeah, like, I mean, when we talked about it before, I was more of like, what's it gonna be like since Budamayo, the former guy they had on there, was gone essentially. Like we talked about our precautions about this before the show came up, and I was just like, Season 2 might not hit as strong, or it will, because they used all of his ideas, and the Season 3 might fucking suck.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we gonna have to talk about it. I was looking forward to it for sure. Season 1 I thought was great. So I mean, I like Season 1. The only thing I didn't enjoy was that Wolverine got sidelined, but that's about it.
And it didn't get any better from there. So
One episode, I guess, just to let the fanboys go crazy, but yeah, man, I guess not.
But all right. So obviously, season 2 came out this year. All right, it's pretty nice. We do have a confirmation that season 3 is going to be happening. And gotta say, by the end of this season, I don't think you're gonna like season 3. And we'll discuss that, like I said, later on down the road. It's gonna be a big surprise. We'll have to wait for that. But season 2, obviously, pretty decent on the Rotten Tomato score. It got a 97% tomato meter with a 79% on the popcorn meter. I mean, people are enjoying this one, at least some people. We got some bad audience reviews right here. Um, pretty. I don't want to go over the reviews, but there is some downsides to this show apparently. But season 2 has 9 episodes. I believe that's one more than the first season, right? Or did the first season have 9 as well?
I think the first season also had 9.
Yeah. Okay. So 18 episodes in total, but we got the 9 right here in season 2. What did we think about the whole like what did we think about the whole change up in between? Obviously, that's going to be a big topic of conversation at the end, like I said. But for those that haven't heard our past stuff, but what do you think about the whole shakeup in between? You kind of touched up on it with Bio, kind of being sidelined or at least thrown out the window. Um, what was your worry after season 1 wrapped up, and obviously there was like words that season 2 might not be as well done as season 1 because certain pieces or components might be removed.
Okay, so to get in the head of Josh that hadn't seen this show yet, let me try and take it out real quick. But I was mostly worried that worst come to worst, they butcher everything, they go back to the drawing board, they rewrite some stuff, whatever, or they keep his stuff, and that ends up being like the better half or the better things of the season. But also, they also butcher that too. They really shoot itself in the foot and it limps along, whatever. And they just do their best to patch it up themselves. And I would say we got the second one for the most part. But yeah, that's kind of what my worries were initially.
Okay, and just to correct it really quick, the season 1 had 10, so they actually dropped 1 episode, so there's 9 instead of 10.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, so they had to lose it. But same thing with me. I was kind of worried about the change up because I thought the first one was, beautifully done. But if you're an Invincible fan, you kind of understand that what was given in the first season cannot be redone, unfortunately, or not as great apparently because of how quick you have to produce this kind of stuff. And I think the first season was great from the top to bottom, story, like I said, to animation. But you take the guy who made the story, you take him out of the equation, regardless of what he did. I mean, obviously, if he did what he did, he needs to be removed. But obviously, if you take out the component that made it right, you're gonna have a big issue. And by the end of this one, I was like, who the hell did they hire? And I did some research, and like I said, big surprise at the end. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. Don't cheat. Okay, put your phone away, you cheater.
Hey! I get to look at whatever I want.
Hey, no, don't you do it. Don't you do it. But yeah, so Terry Douglas, Ray Chase comes back as Cyclops, George Buza as Beast, Ross McQuaid as Professor X, Jennifer Hale as Jean Grey, Cal Dodd as Wolverine, Lenore Zan as Rogue, Matthew Wood, Holly Chow as Jubilee, Allison Seeley Smith as Storm, Matthew Watterson as Magneto, so on, so forth. We got pretty good lineup, pretty good cast. We got the originals coming back for yet again another season. I mean, why would you say no to a voice acting bag like that? So it's great, but not all bags are worth going after, huh?
All right.
We're gonna have to discuss that later. But Josh, since this is a full episode, or at least a full season breakdown, we don't really have to break it down episode by episode, I do not feel. But if you want to give us a good gist of what the season's about, spoilers coming up. So if you guys haven't seen the season, go check it out. If you guys are in the middle of the season, wondering if you guys should finish it up, finish it first and then come listen. But if you want to just, if you're like me and you're like halfway through and you're just like, what are we doing here? Then, here we are. Josh, go ahead.
So the season starts off right where we left the X-Men, split up into two timelines. We got a good glimpse about that. But they were basically sent into their times, the future and the past, to basically stop Apocalypse. This whole season is about stopping Apocalypse. How that gets done and how it's executed and how things happen. We gonna break that down, but I would say it happened pretty quickly.
Yeah, and they did kind of, and like you said, it did pick up because they did tease him at the end of it, and so whatever happens at the end of this one is basically going to tease what's gonna, or at least who's gonna be the next villain in the next season. At least they committed to that, and we didn't get like a whole, oh, we're teasing him at the end, and we're not gonna see him for multiple years, or you ever hear about said villain. Looking at you, Spider-Man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just saying, right? Brother got justice this year, so it's been a few years, quite a few years. But yeah, Josh, I mean, I guess let's start with the actors, the characters, right?
Okay.
Obviously, this is something that like I said, in the first season, I gotta say, all these actors, the only thing that bothered me was the fact that they sounded older. With this time around, Cyclops, Rogue, what is it? What's his name? Cable's character. Wolverine still kind of sidelined with this one. I mean, he gets a little bit of shine, but it is what it is. I mean, you get the usual suspects, but I don't feel like they were doing enough like they were doing like in the first season. I feel like they're, I mean, not the actors themselves. I feel like they were giving a great performance, but I think the characters themselves were kind of cut at one point. Could that have been a whole change up in the roster when it came down to the creators of what they plucked and all that stuff? I'm not 100% sure, but at least with the actors, I mean, they gave us what they gave us in the first season, and I can overlook the whole like older voice soundingness, I guess. But for the most part, I just gotta say the character development probably wasn't as strong as the first season, but this one wasn't completely terrible either. But it just, I feel like you could feel a lot of like, how do you say, like there, I don't want to say like it's chopped, because it probably is chopped, but
Right.
what's the best way to put it?
It's just stagnant for everybody.
There you go, stagnant, I
And
guess. Yeah.
It's like in the first season, it felt like their big motivation was, they didn't want to work with Magneto. And, you get great moments out of Scott trying to step up and be the leader and all that stuff and lead this team. But then you look for season 2 and like, look, this is going to be the difference between like cool moments and storytelling, right? So he has cool moments, but is he that leader
That we got with
No.
the first season? No. Because they even
Him
tried
and
it in the
Jean-
first.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
go
keep
ahead.
going. No, you got it.
Okay, him and Jean spend the whole time like worried about Cable. Every time he's on screen, they're like, "Son, no." And like I can understand that, but Scott at the end of the day is the leader. He should be leading.
Yeah, and I mean they try to give him that epic moment too, where they try to like show him as the leader in the first episode, where they do like the beam and him sliding. It just wasn't as cool as the first season. Like they tried to redo it again and try to recapture that lightning in a bottle, and it just didn't feel like it worked in that way. We already knew they were the leader. You just had to kind of build upon what they had, and it felt like they didn't know what to do with Cyclops and Jean too much, so they kind of kept them where they wanted them to be, if that makes sense. And that's with the kid until they weren't, and then like it wasn't fluid as it was in the first season. It felt like there was something keeping them there, and then something outside. They're gonna be like, oh yeah, it was like Mephisto or something, like something outside the actual like forces was keeping them there, and I'm assuming that was the writer who didn't know where to actually send them next. With obviously the jumping around and whatnot.
Right.
But like I said, the characters, at least the actors, did well, but the characters themselves, they just did not have the right role. I mean, even like spoilers. Like I said, at the end of the season, there was a pretty big you know, a pretty big death. And I mean, as much as I was like, oh, even like I said, you even talked about it, Magneto. I was kind of like, I was assuming it was supposed to be a big thing, but I was kind of like, man, like, kind of deserves it a little bit, right? So I wasn't really on his side, and at the end, I was just like, okay, you could have done that too, I guess. I don't know. I just didn't. I wasn't really agreeing with a lot of these choices that were kind of being given to us.
Right. I mean, I guess the only death that might lead to something is Magneto's, and like because a lot of people were like onslaught, it's gonna lead to onslaught, but I can't help but feel like the show does a lot of that teasing, but we didn't see anything too concrete, and what we did see for a potential season or for what season 3 has to offer, they're gonna be doing Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. So where is Onslaught and Magneto going to be at? Because I think one of the stronger things too was Charles and Magneto's fucking how they kept going back and forth in season 1, and like I felt for them as characters, and then upon his death I was also feeling for him, but they snuffed that light out so fast.
I understand why they moved from that though, because I mean they had that for all of a good chunk of the original X-Men, the 97, the original.
Yeah, the original.
Like obviously that happens a lot of the times till the big cliffhanger happens, and obviously it was cool to have him back, but it was still kind of like, okay, well, eventually we got to stop with the back and forth. So they kind of passed it off. So in my head, I'm like, okay, they're probably just gonna bring back Magneto later on down the road. So I mean, don't worry too much. But still, it's like I feel like they can kind of move on from that whole, like, if you really want to tell a strong story, and there is so many villains that the X-Men have, that you can tell a strong story with these characters and have like the same, obviously, the same tension and all that stuff that you can have with Magneto and him with a different character, or at least in a different way, in a different variation. And it's just they just got to let it go a little bit, like eventually, like the fact that in Doomsday too, got to think about it, like even in Doomsday, the fact that they're bringing back Professor X and Magneto, it's kind of like, why not just bring back Magneto? We've seen Charles Xavier die so many times on screen, like why not just bring back Magneto and just be like he died off screen or something, you know what I mean? Or maybe this is this is the same Professor X, he's just kind of like knocked out. It's the same one that got uh fucking annihilated by the Wanda, you know what I mean? By Wanda in Multiverse of Madness. So I to me, like, to bring him back over and over again, it's time to kind of just be like, all right, we've done this story over and over, let's just move on, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I kind of understood that. That was fine with me. Doomsday, Apocalypse being the villain with this one, and it being, him actually being teased at the end of it, and it being, I at least give him that. I don't really agree on how they ended it, but at least I can agree that it was they kept chugging along with what they had.
Insane that we got a fucking Kang, the most accurate Kang we'll ever see. Just fuck off.
Yeah.
Insane. I felt like that was such a
maybe we'll see him later.
A slap to the face. I thought that was insane.
Maybe at one point, this show was gonna tie in with something like that, with what was happening in the wider MCU. So they kind of just had to use it as a cameo and then just dip.
I mean, I would think, bro. They were dropping names left and right. They had Celestials and everything.
Yeah, like if they were supposed to at one point meet up with Eternals, and what was happening with Ant-Man, and that Kang dying to ants and shit like that. But I mean, character-wise, did you have any gripes before we move on?
No, I mean, probably the usual stuff where everything just kind of felt stagnant and everything was moving very fast. So maybe the people that they were focusing on didn't really get to shine. I feel like again, insanely, the only ones that I felt actually grow had to have been like, I think Jubilee. I think Jubilee. I think Polaris had a little bit of stuff, and we had just got her this season. She's not even a season one alumni. She just showed up, and she got more arc than all of the people we're looking at right now. Cable seemed to be reduced to just the mercenary that he is. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I would say.
Is it kind of
that,
giving like Young Justice vibes with the whole X Force thing?
I mean, I'm sure that's the point. You know,
So
when
it
the
kind of felt
X-Men
like
when the X-Men can't be there, they need people to do the real stuff. So I'm sure that team will stick around.
we get like a little spin-off,
Maybe.
little X Force spin-off.
I would say. I mean, if the characters are if there's too many fucking X-Men, maybe.
Well, that's what I mean. Like just to bring that up, that's what I feel like. Obviously, Young Justice kind of started failing because they started branching off and talking about all these. Like, don't get me wrong, we care about these characters or whatever, but you can't make us care about them if we care about these characters the most. You know what I mean? You kind of bring them along, drop them in there little by little, not just drop a handful and be like, oh yeah, we're gonna. These are the people you're gonna follow at some point. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't know. It feels forced. You gotta let us, you know.
Well, I mean,
You gotta throw the bait out there and let us nibble first. You know.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, with Young Justice, I felt like that worked in the aspect of like, it's just a team. Yeah, it's just a team for the new generation to get along before they become the big leagues or whatever. I didn't mind that too bad. I do think that like, I mean, obviously your characters are just gonna get sidelined, but they managed to like handle it pretty well in season 2. And then season 3 happened, and I think it went up to season 4 when they started going back to like the OG team, like Nightwing and all them. But like, yeah, season 3 was the bumpy one. But other than that, I thought they did pretty solid about the new generation and all that stuff.
Well, I mean, yeah, because they didn't really completely derail the show. I was really hoping that they weren't gonna derail the show with like new characters and bombard it and shit. But I do think like as time goes on, same thing with Young Justice. That you keep adding people to the roster, you mix and match them because you're like, okay, well that one wasn't popular last season or whatever. Like if it's like just some random episode of like, I don't know, like what is it? Trying to think of a show. I can't think of it right now. But either which way, you can't just keep swapping them off. But like that's what happened with Young Justice. You know what I mean? Like it just happens multiple times. And then you kind of lose interest. So I'm hoping that doesn't go. We don't go down that route. If we do get it like an X Force like spin-off show or whatever, we stay with that team or at least the people that we like or whatever, and then we go from there. But what do we think about the animation? I feel like that's a big thing that we need to talk about too. Obviously, that's, in my opinion, it's a big drawing point when it comes down to these Disney Plus shows because the Lord knows Disney Plus has not been giving out a lot of great animated things. All right, it's not happening as often. And I gotta say, like I said, X-Men '97 season 1 was made with love and care and has some amazing animation, and I thought it was like the best animation I've seen since Invincible season 1 probably. I think it's the only thing that I can think of I've seen animated wise, TV show wise. And this will just kind of drop the ball. And I kind of understand like you cannot maintain it because you got to give it. Obviously when you do season 1, you have the time until it's ready to be presented. Where with season 2, you get something announced and you got to make that deadline or whatever, right? So I can kind of understand that, but animation for me was a big drawing in point, or at least a pulling in point for me, along with the story. And we're gonna talk about the plot in a second, and we kind of touched upon it a little bit with the characters. It just wasn't as strong, and neither was the animation, and that kind of fucking sucks. So yeah, animation. I mean, it's not the worst thing I've seen. It's not Invincible season like 3 and 4 and shit, but I mean, it's not as good as the first season.
I mean, we got fucking. I think this season did pretty okay. I think the time that we waited gave them enough time to shine in some parts, and other parts obviously suffered, and you can just tell which is which. And I think that's okay for the most part. Like, I think, yeah. I mean, it's not as good as the first season, but it's also, like you said, not the worst thing. I think we're gonna see the worst of it coming up because season 3 is coming out next year, and then like they want to keep doing like the yearly release. So, yeah, the animation is just gonna keep dwindling away. They're gonna take notes from Amazon of all places. So it's unfortunate.
Probably a worse place. Probably a worse place. So yeah, animation is not as great as the first season. It's unfortunate, but that does happen. Josh, but the plot, the main, the creme de la creme, what you come to watch the show for.
Right.
Like I said, the first season was strong, right? Professor X, Magneto, grappling with good and evil, whatever. Like that's what you show up for. That's what people are still waiting on for Star Wars to keep happening. But we go off to fuck knows where with Mandalorian Grogu. Anyways, I gotta stop giving strays to all these movies. Like everybody's just catching some today. Um, at least with the plot here, like I said, at least we had the villain that was originally teased, so I can't really be too upset. But nothing really screamed development for any of these characters, right? Even the little bit that we got with, let's just say, like Gambit, that still wasn't. I still don't think that was like as hard hitting, nor did it really feel like anything special. If anything, I was kind of like, man, just kind of let the guy be at this point. Like his body's possessed. Are you fucking kidding me? Just leave him alone. I don't know. I wasn't really too sure about how strong the plot was, at least for this whole season of this show.
Yeah, bro. I think when you hear fucking what the original concept was, you get an idea of what the fuck happened. I mean, in the first episode, the mutants in the past stayed, but the ones in the future immediately go home, and we don't hear about that for like 4 episodes down the line. And it's insane because, like I said, they go home, and then we get that Jubilee episode, the X-Force episode, sorry, which, I mean, they're hunting for Apocalypse's vessel, and then we get the mutants of the past, which is Magneto and them. I thought the concept of them creating their own Apocalypse was pretty cool. Okay, full circle moment, I could get behind that. So I thought those first 2 episodes, I mean, those episodes 2 and 3 and 4 were solid. I like that full circle moment between them. And then you follow Wolverine, the only hero from the future, to be like, finally get some limelight about where the fuck he's been, and it's just so he can get his vibranium back, which I don't have a problem with, or his adamantium back, sorry, but I don't have a problem with that. But I can't help but feel like they were also being vague about these mutants. But again, it's like, we have to go back and watch the old cartoon. Why can't you just give us a quick speed run of all that shit? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, that's where I was like, okay, if you're a fan of the old stuff, maybe you'll get it. But you're right. Give us a little cliff notes. But at the same time, it was still more like, I guess that's the big thing, right? Because thinking about it, you putting it like that, probably just the fact that it just wasn't fresh in your mind. You probably like, well, what was that? You know what I mean?
Like, I know Sabretooth and I know Wolverine, but I don't know this Wolverine and this Sabretooth all too well. So when you tell me that they were on a team together, are they related? Do we even know that much? I don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
And then
go watch the rest of it.
And then we get an episode about Polaris, which, as much as I really enjoy her, like, she's gonna be the one that's gonna push this whole, like, okay, she can be better than Magneto type of shit. So if we never see Magneto again, that's gonna fucking suck. But if she can be the one to be like, all right, not only can I listen to Charles's teachings, but I can probably use that to lead and help mutant kind or whatever. Cool. I like their back and forth between her and Charles, and the parallels between her and Magneto. I love that shit. I thought it was cool. But again, a character we haven't seen before getting hella limelight. I think her and Bishop, like, are a cool little thing, but again, why is she here? Why is this the first time we're hearing about these mutants again? So she goes back to school. She goes back to Charles, which is, I mean, all right, cool. Strange Land. We get the more political side of the mutants, where it's like, okay, they're gonna kidnap a human politician, Nightcrawler's brother, which, I mean, is again another hint to the old show. So we're connecting those lines, right? Mm-hmm. And then we get Colossus, and we get all these people, but we find out magic dies in the most ridiculous way, and you're kind of like, well, what the fuck was that about? And then, like, I mean, I think this was supposed to cement Nightcrawler as a character and his growth and his forgiveness and all that stuff. Just for the ending to happen, and you're like, well, what the fuck was that all about? And then you get the Dead Man's Hand, Gambit's back. This is them finally getting back to the original story of Apocalypse, and you're just like, all right, man, you just dropped this in the middle. We thought he fucked off forever ago. Turns out, nope, he's in Gambit, which, I mean, I like their reunion. I liked everything like that. I think Nightcrawler giving everyone the hands was amazing. I thought that was great. It ends the way it ends, and then survival of the fittest, the big culmination and climax of all this, where they cement the ideas of fucking Onslaught. They handle Gambit Apocalypse, which ugliest fucking design I've ever fucking seen. And then cherry on top, Mystique and the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, whatever the fuck. This season was technically a mess. And while I did like certain things and certain aspects of these episodes, you gotta admit it was definitely a mess, because I know after episodes 3 and 4, you're kind of like, well, what the fuck? What happened to Apocalypse? You know, like insane, bro, insane.
I think that's basically what it is. Yeah, you said it the best. And yeah, that ending, that, you know, the quick, like a Band-Aid ending, where like they're just easily able to just be like a very reminiscent to a, you know, how a Captain, what is it, Captain Britain, or no, what's her name, Captain Carter, was able to kind of defeat the villain in the What If series. So it's kind of like, well, damn.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people making that comparison, and I was like, I guess, bro, I guess.
You didn't feel that?
I mean, I think once everyone, because bro, I saw the spoiler way before fucking I saw the episode, unfortunately, and that's just because I'm on Twitter. But like, everyone was making that connection, and is that because they used the What If people, or, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like, that's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate. But yeah, so fight scenes, I gotta kind of say, I mean, it kind of goes with the animation, so we kind of should have talked about it then. But I mean, the fight scenes are kind of crucial. We've kind of talked about this with other animated shows, even with like Invincible, when the budget is like lacking, and, you know, these fights just don't hit as hard. I gotta say, they put a lot of money into the fights, and at least into what was happening around it. What I saw a lot of was a lot of the character kind of like standing still, and then a lot of like the power just kind of flaring up around them and stuff like that. I don't know if you noticed that.
Right. I think Polaris is probably the only one, in my opinion, to have like cool fight scenes. Even when Wolverine fights Omega Red, I was like, all right, that's pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like, I get behind that, cool. But Polaris probably had, in my opinion, the favorite fight scenes.
You didn't like the Rogue versus Gambit?
Dude, that shit happened so fast, and I was kind of just like, all right.
Oh, you're disappointed. Okay.
Yeah, I thought that happened very quickly. They spent half the episode fighting each other. It wasn't X-Force. It was the governmental team, basically. I can't remember what they were called. But yeah, so they spent. I mean, they were cool. I liked them fighting each other. I thought that was pretty cool. But the Gambit X Rogue thing was kind of. I was kind of whack. I think that my favorite moment, like highlight of the whole season, was probably Magneto taking down Ship in that, was it that 4th episode?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that shit was fucking crisp. Maybe all the animation went into that. Maybe all the budget went into that. But yeah, money well spent because that shit looked cool.
Probably.
I think worst.
I really did like when Magneto get blown away, though. I really like the animation to that.
Yeah,
Like I really like the grin, the color, like as the skeleton lighting up before he gets obliterated. I thought that was pretty nice too.
Yeah,
Can't
and that's why
even-
some of it look cool and just some of it doesn't. And that last episode suffers a lot. Like dude, like go back and I mean, you probably I say go back, but like mostly to the people, go back and watch that last episode, and like tell me the weird transition between Psylocke going around Wolverine, manipulating his brain or whatever, and then cut to her already on top of him before he hits her with a fucking sword, which, I mean, I did get a fucking laugh out of that, and then throw her away, but that's such a weird thing, because he was like, well, what'd you do to the clones? You attacked the right one all of a sudden? Like, that, I don't know. For some reason, that felt kind of weird to me.
That's because it was. That's because it was. But I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, so I got the fight scenes. They were okay. Like I said, can't really think of like the coolest fight scene for me. I mean, the one with Nightcrawler was pretty sick too, where they were like going all over the place. That one was
Yeah, he was giving everyone fucking hands. I was like, God damn.
like I said, you could tell where the budget was going, and then where like they were kind of like, this is this works.
They're just talking.
That'll be okay. Let's cut off a little bit. At least they're not doing what like I said, same thing Invincible did, where they were like, yeah, we got actual little tips and tricks that we actually like to use, and not show you guys that we're talking and whatnot. But I mean, Josh, to kind of wrap it up here before we start, give our rating and all that stuff. One thing that I did notice, and like I said, you kind of brought it up, was the whole Rogue thing, and that's that was like the big surprise for me, was that I guess X-Men '97, the creators or the head writers were kind of hired to not only take over for Bio, but also to write season 3 of X-Men '97. Right, Matthew Chauncey was tapped to basically do that. And like I said, the animators were basically called in. They finished everything, and that's why when I seen it, I was like, man, that's reminiscent. I don't even think we talked about Bio departing, but I don't think we talked about them ever hiring somebody. So that was kind of new for me.
They just went in-house.
And I gotta say, by the end of this season, though I enjoyed some of it, right, if I'm getting around to like my rating and everything like that, though I enjoyed some of this stuff, and so though it looked cool animation wise, it wasn't as good as the first season. The story wise, it wasn't as great as the first season. And if we're getting stuff like that from these what if creators, which, like, I gotta be honest with you, the what if series was not my favorite. All this kind of adding up into the total of what I feel about the show, I give it a solid like maybe 6. It's a decent season. It's good, front to back. You could get through it, but it's a tough watch if you're not really like 110% invested. And though I wanted to be, I just could not be. And I wholeheartedly blame Marvel in the way that they write their shows and the way they marketed this one, because I don't feel like they gave it that, like I said, that same the red carpet appeal like the first season. Like they didn't really give it too much. That's unfortunate too.
Yeah.
But what do you think about this season, Josh? What do you think about these writers kind of taking over, and your rating? Obviously, 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, and 5 being in the middle.
I knew Marvel would look in-house for their fucking next people to take it up. I would have preferred they, take whatever footnotes they had from Bo, implement them, and then take over
shit.
Exactly. Then take over season 3. But the fact that we get a mix of both, I think I like, and I can tell what is kind of Bo's stuff versus what they picked up and what they put together. So, I mean, that's kind of how I feel.
Pretty cool that you can recognize it.
Yeah, I think it's possible to recognize where the fuck shit was going. And so I just didn't think that they would choose like What If for their fucking people. I thought they'd look outward, but I guess if you got the people in house, man, you know what I mean. I guess it beats like Rick and Morty writers. You know what I mean? Like it's fine.
Well, no, it's not. No, you can't say that because it's like it's like the Rick and Morty writers that were writing like Ant-Man and shit like that. Like the shit came out bad. You got to give them what they're good at, and we got to be honest. You got to be honest too. Like, What If was not your favorite show.
No, fuck no.
So the fact that they're bringing it in, I would be a little bit worried for your season 3, 100%.
Oh yeah, bro, I am. What if writers fucking, oh, like I said, the most lackluster kind of stuff. They were not getting outlandish with their storytelling at all, and then the fact that they tied it all together. Don't get me started on that show.
Oh, what if Mark Ruffalo was in The Incredible Hulk?
Yeah, fucking. Yeah, bro.
Oh shit! My God,
Ridiculous, ridiculous, dude. But
Just thinking outside the box.
I think I'm gonna watch season 3. I think this is gonna if the best of it is behind it, and this is just gonna be another like little cartoon. I don't see why not. But yeah, no, I think season 3's animation is really gonna pull it together. Because if I see some shit like Invincible when we had like really good stuff this season and last season, it's gonna be tough.
You're gonna see a JPEG floating around.
Right.
JPEG laser beams.
Fucking, they're gonna cut off camera. They're gonna show Mystique cut away, and then she's gonna transform into whoever because they don't have the budget for transformation like that.
Yeah.
I think I'm with you. I think I give it like 7 out of 10.
7, just a little bit more.
Yeah.
Okay. I can see that. I can see that as well. So I mean, are you a scale from 1 to 5? How worried are you for the season 3?
I would say I'm at like a 4. I did see that leak. I don't know if you saw that.
No, what leak?
They leaked the trailer, or a cam rip of what they were showing at Comic-Con.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I mean, the animation didn't look perfect. I'll show you off pod because I don't want to have to pull all that up. But yeah,
Okay.
it doesn't look too good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we kind of, with every What If season, it got worse. So I'm assuming, unfortunately, X-Men 97 might be going down the same path. But they can't just keep they can't keep good help, unfortunately. So it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, we're probably going to be tapped in. I mean, for me, I was at like a 5 at the end of season 1. Now I'm at like literally a 2 for season 3. I mean, I guess I'll watch it because it's there. Like you said, it's just a cartoon. But I'm not as, like, if this one really was struggling to keep my attention, if season 3 does not get any better, then holy, I don't even know how we're gonna even talk about this season. It's season 3. I don't know how that would even happen.
Right.
But we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Let us know what you guys think. X-Men 97 season 2. Check out the episodes. Let us know your guys' thoughts. Let us know what you guys think about the new What If writers being our new X-Men 97 showrunners and basically the animators as well. I mean, if you saw that last episode, you know where we're going. Where we're basically going. And what did you say, Josh? The Mystique was running who?
Mystique breaks in and she's gonna end up running the governmental. She killed the lady and she's gonna end up running the X team. I can't remember what they were called because I'm thinking X-Men, X-Force, and then I'm trying to think of Polaris's old team, what they were fucking called, and I just can't remember it.
Well, I know Mystique is going to be running what Magneto was doing basically in X3, right?
So I think she's going to be...
People are going to, like, punch me for that and be like, what the fuck, you're referencing that and not the comic book? Look, I don't watch comic book. I'm thinking about what I know.
She's going to be, like, pulling the strings from the government's team, I'm pretty sure, and then while also trying to be the bad guy and, like, liberate mutants, obviously. So
basically going to have to play Magneto's role.
I think they're giving that to Polaris. I think that's gonna be the big thing.
We'll have to wait and see.
Mystique's
But let us know
just
what you
gonna be
guys
the bad guy.
think. Who?
Mystique's just gonna be the bad guy. Like that's it.
You think Polaris is gonna be like the bad guy and eventually just swap over?
I mean, isn't that how it always goes? I don't
Yeah.
know. Justice for Nightcrawler. That's
Is
how I
is
feel.
Magneto really a bad guy? Who knows?
I mean, no, I probably not. I don't think so.
Let us know what you guys think. Josh, let them know where they can talk to us, topics, movies, TV shows they want us to review. They want to hear the voice of one of these episodes. Let them know.
Twitter, TikTok, Instagram at FilmBros Podcast. Post on episodes there. We can hit us up there for any news and movies you want us to cover. Buzzsprout link in the social I just gave you. It's like Patreon. You subscribe. We hope the show good. Really appreciate it. Let's do Anywhere It's Podcast at FilmBros Podcast. Spotify, YouTube Music, Apple Podcasts. Again, wherever you get your podcast. Part of the conversation, Twitch at FilmBros Podcast. And once all said and done, subscribe to YouTube at FilmBros Podcast.
With that being said, we'll talk to you guys on the next one.
Talk to you guys later.